Wipes are on hiatus this week.
Yes.
And we are introducing a new segment called You Oughta Know.
You.
Oughta know. Thank you. I'll finish that for you.
You guys are welcome for that, by the way.
Let me start this out. You ought to know what podcast I'm listening to. Well, I don't know. Yeah. You ought to know about, you ought to know about Revisionist History by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes.
Revisionist History is a podcast created by Malcolm Gladwell, New York Times best-selling author. He's the author of David and Goliath, of Blink, of Outliers. Just a brilliant, creative
amazing.
Business mind.
Yeah.
No
one like him.
Within the last, I want to say month, maybe month and a half, he came out with a new podcast called Revisionist History. It is everything that you love about Malcolm Gladwell, if you love him, and everything you hate about Malcolm Gladwell, if you hate him. So if you love Malcolm Gladwell as much as I do, you ought to be listening to Revisionist History. Go check it out on iTunes and SoundCloud. Oh, I don't know, maybe not SoundCloud. Definitely iTunes.
Yeah.
Check it out and start listening today. Just turn this off.
No, do not turn this. Look it, somebody just did it.
And then they came back. Okay, good. Go listen to Revisionist History once we're done.
Yes. Okay, that's
amazing.
A better piece of advice. Excellent. Actually, so what you ought to be watching is All the Way on HBO. This is the story of
Frank Sinatra. All the way.
No, it's because of the hair. Stop. No, it's actually Bryan Cranston, who you have like the biggest man crush on from Breaking Bad. I know you have. I saw heart when I said this to Sam earlier this morning. Like literal hearts came in. The heart emoji was Sam's face.
The heart came out of my eyes, like
they did.
like in the old cartoon.
Oh my goodness, so much love.
Yep.
Anyway, he won a Tony for his role as President Johnson in All the Way on Broadway, and HBO made it a film. And I watched it last night, and holy smokes, is it amazing! Especially for kind of some of the things that we are walking through in the country right now. It touches on a lot of the civil rights tensions and a lot of the racial tensions in the 60s. It starts literally minutes after JFK was assassinated.
Yeah.
And just kind of goes through LBJ's journey to the next election. It's just some amazing performances. It's very intense to watch, and just a lot about how they tried to pass the Civil Rights Act. I just can't say enough good things about it. I was riveted by it. He is so stellar and such a powerful actor, and just to see more of that time, and again to relate it to what we're walking through as a nation now. It really made me think about all that stuff. It was just really good.
Can I tell you, I am excited to watch this as well. We will get to it at home. My biggest concern is Bryan Cranston, in my mind, is so intertwined with the character of
Walter White.
Of Walter White, thank you, on Breaking Bad.
I haven't even watched the show.
And you know it.
I'm here for you.
I was literally going to, I cannot remove Walter White and that character from Bryan Cranston. Every time I see him, he is Walter White doing Lyndon Johnson. I have this same problem. We just watched The Big Short.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Scott.
Steve Carell, which is actually his name.
His name is Steve Carell.
We're both like Michael Scott.
But his character of Michael Scott is so. I can't disconnect Michael Scott from the actual person of Steve Carell. When I'm watching The Big Short, I'm like, look, Michael Scott is now in the housing, is in big banking.
Which he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Didn't he at some point?
He has a higher pitched and stronger accent. It was Steve Carell playing Michael Scott, playing this banker who is betting against the housing market.
That feels like one of those little like Russian babushka dolls that you just just unpacked.
No.
Like poor Steve Carell is the tiny babushka, and then the character in The Big Short is like the medium babushka, and then Michael Scott is the babushka that everybody sees.
So this is my concern with All the Way, is I'm not going to be able to see Bryan Cranston performing as President Lyndon Johnson.
Yes.
It's going to be Walter White. Walter White playing the role of Heisenberg, playing the role of Lyndon Johnson.
That is so much. There's so much happening.
I'm concerned about it.
I mean, I can get that, and I have watched the first like 4 episodes of the first season of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
So I can see that, but they do such a good job with the costuming on this show.
Okay.
I mean, he really does actually look like LBJ, which is pretty amazing.
Okay.
So and
So you're telling me that my fears are unwarranted.
I'm telling you that you may still experience that, but maybe at a lesser level than what your imagination has worked it up to be. Anyway, it's a fabulous film. I highly recommend it.
We're watching Made in America, the O.J. Simpson, the 5-part O.J. Simpson
The one that I swiped
miniseries.
up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, on ESPN. It's not considering live sporting events.
Right.
This might be the most important thing ESPN has ever done.
Oh my goodness, I cannot disagree with that.
And when and maybe even when you throw in live events,
it's still up there.
It's very high. Oh my gosh,
it is amazing.
We're halfway through episode 2, and I see it's this pattern that is repeating itself and has been repeating itself over and over and over of racism, of egotism.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it is a lot. And just the way that they build that, I mean the intentionality to just build it layer upon layer upon layer. And so as you get deeper and deeper into why this trial of OJ is something that rocked America in the early 90s and is still something we're talking about today. That's the other piece of it. It's like this is something that happened 22 years ago.
Wow.
And it is still so impactful to the culture. It's still exposed so much about what was going on in the country. It's still important enough to make art about it. It's still important enough to talk about. And man, is it just masterfully done.
I will make an offer to you guys, the viewers, our audience. I will come over to my house and watch. If you haven't seen it, come over to my house and we will watch Made in America together, provided you bring me a shirt from your business, not one of your not a business shirt of yours, not one of your own shirts off your back, but
a shirt of your business.
A shirt of your business. I will wear it on this show. That will be your ticket into my house. Don't show up without the shirt. I will cast you aside and turn you away like a piece of old content. That's your ticket into my house to watch Made in America.
Great.
It's just fascinating.
There you go.
I absolutely love
it. It is so good.
You ought to know by now about Pokemon Go.
You should. Can I make a confession? Well, partially because we talked about last week. I fell on my face 4th of July and have been immobile, and I'm still not super. I'm ambulatory, which
I don't even know what that means.
I can walk.
You rode in an ambulance.
No, I didn't. I probably should have, but I didn't. I can walk a little bit, so I'm not like running around trying to catch the Pokemon. But I did download Pokemon Go.
Yes,
yesterday.
I downloaded Pokemon Go three days ago. We're not going to explain what it is. You should know about it. You ought to know.
Yeah, you ought to know.
And if you don't, good grief, go on the web and search Pokemon Go.
Which you ought to be reading Pokemon Go tutorials, guys.
Oh, that's
okay,
good.
because you want to know why? Because there are still pieces of it I don't get.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either.
I wasn't freak out.
I wasn't a Pokemon fan growing up.
I wasn't either.
I want to tell you, I have not heard anybody talk about this. I haven't heard anybody say this.
Trend-setting alert.
This is fresh hot take from yours truly, Sam Hoover. I find it fascinating. Last week, 7 days ago, we were talking about unmentionable tragedies happening in America.
Yes.
And within the span of 24, 48, 72 hours, no one's talking about that. We have collectively shifted to talking about piece of technology, which I think is important.
Yes.
I find that fascinating that our culture collectively, worldwide, is now talking, has just completely changed topics.
It was an incredibly abrupt shift. Here's why, though. Here's why. It wasn't like a small group of people, because Pokemon Go reached more active users than Twitter, which is, Twitter has 140 million active users daily. They reached more than that in a weekend. Yeah. Twitter has been around since 2006. Yeah. And so you've got hundreds of millions of people now doing this. And I think part of it is, you know what? I mean, and this is not an excuse. Man, last week was hard. Yeah. It was really hard. And I think people were looking, like, it came along at a time when people were like, I cannot
Can't
process
anymore.
One more thing.
Yep.
Which I think is really interesting. And but the other piece of it is we're starting to see pictures pop up. I just saw one in my timeline this morning on Facebook where people were gathered outside playing Pokemon Go, and it's in like really rough neighborhoods, and people in the neighborhoods and cops are playing it together. Which, so it's starting to see some of it eke kind of back in a little bit, but I think it's something so benign, and it's something very easy for people to kind of come together around, which seems, I mean, guys, we are catching virtual animals on our phones.
Yeah. Let's not. I don't want to trivialize
think
it
about that.
or belittle it because that's not. I just don't want to go there.
Yes.
Because I play it, and as
it's
much
still
shade.
Kind of amazing.
Yeah, as much shade as I'm throwing at Pokemon Go, I'm not an addict, not yet.
I can stop anytime I want.
I can delete the app if I'm not going to.
I can.
I think.
But I won't.
I think this is. I think you're going to see a lot of copycats.
Yeah.
I think the one copycat franchise that could overtake Pokemon
Go.
is Harry Potter. Can you imagine walking around, attacking things with your wand? Your teams are now.
Why is this not a thing?
Your teams are now the 4 houses of Hogwarts. Like.
People are freaking out.
Like that's why Pokemon Go has become such a big thing, is because of the franchise. The technology's always been there. It was the franchise that pushed it into a tipping point. Once somebody comes out, once Universal or J.K. Rowling comes out with Harry Potter Go.
I'm like sweating right now. That is such a good idea. Oh my gosh. Nate Smoyer said, what about Angry Birds? Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Dan Woolley said Star Wars.
Yep.
Alyssa Little just freaked out and was like, somebody please invent this now.
Yeah.
A little kid that I love, like he's really getting into the Pokemon stuff, but he was like, it'd be really cool is if you could do this with sports teams. So like you do it with like the NFL and the NBA, and you have to like capture them and then make them give you an autograph.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's cute.
That was his idea.
I like that.
So I think we need to like capture this somehow and just be like, dear Warner Brothers, especially with the new Harry Potter movie coming out this November. My gosh, you guys.
If you want,
like you are a genius.
No, Universal, if they don't come out with this, then
they're a bunch of agents.
What they are confessing to us is that they are tired of making money. Because Nintendo, when Pokemon Go came out, Nintendo's valuation increased by like $7 billion or $9 billion.
It was $9
something
billion.
Like that.
It was $9 billion.
So if you
want to see John Mayer not just buying Pokecoins, but buying Harry Potter bucks.
Gringotts or
Gringotts,
whatever
let's do it.
The money is.
That is
like
amazing.
the culture, the history, the universe is already there. It's just gonna take the rights to make it. And the time.
That is literally like the best.
There you go.
I can't even. I'm in awe of you right now. Can I just be really honest?
I appreciate that.
I feel like I'm sitting in the presence of greatness.
Every once in a while, I have an idea.
And even every once in a while.
It's actually a good idea.
That is amazing.
The last you ought to know is that next week I'm on vacation. We are not taking a break next week because, hey, we're just getting started. This is a pretty fun little gig. We're gonna
It is.
figure out a way to do some fun video and stay tuned. Even though we won't be together.
We'll not. We'll be together in our hearts and hopefully in yours.
Unfiltered is going to continue down this downhill train track of amazingness. Hey, so that's it.
Downward spiral.
That's it for this episode of Unfiltered. We are your hosts. My name is Sam Hoover. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, Sam_Hoover.
Yes, thank you for stopping the. Please just find any Sam Hoovers and follow them.
Yeah, I'm tired of those other guys.
We don't like them. They're capitalized. Now they'll try and capitalize on your genius, and that won't work.
It's recorded here.
That's right.
Can't get away with it.
I'm your other host, Carrie Kins. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Carrie Kins. Guys, we're so grateful for you and the fact that you come and hang out with us every week. We hope that this is fun and valuable and informative, and we hope that we will see you next week.
Check out Unfiltered Pod here on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. It's been a delight. We will talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.